Dragon's Den. Hello and welcome to Dragon's Den. What happens when the worlds of product design and accountancy come together? First into the den tonight is a business pairing who met in 2010. Together, they dreamt up a little brown box, which they believe can change the world of food waste recycling. But will the dragons agree?
Picking the box up and showing them.
Yes, can I demonstrate that?
And then I'm going to answer all the questions about product.
Yeah, so I'll run through the projections like year one, sustainability focus.
It's quite hard sometimes to describe our product or the real benefit of it, but you say the words bin juice and everyone's face just goes like this.
Retention rate. Gavin Duffy, I think, would be a perfect match for us. We'll have our eye on Gavin.
Gavin, please don't compete with me on this one.
Famous last words. This is it. Great.
Hello, Dragons. I'm Liz Fingleton, and this is Kate Cronin, and we're co-founders of Obio. We're here today seeking an investment of €100,000 for a 10% equity stake in our business.
Yuck. Now, this is the most common reaction to food waste. So that's why we've developed Obio. Obio takes that yuck out of food waste. Obio is a compostable box that you sit up on your kitchen countertop and you fill with your daily food waste. When full, which takes the average family around 2 to 3 days, you simply pop it in your brown bin and you start over with a fresh box. The great thing about Obio is that it's really strong, it doesn't leak or tear, unlike the bioplastic bag.
Obio launched into Dunnes stores 18 months ago, and we're now on sale in over 100 Dunnes and SuperValus across the country. A 5-pack of Obio boxes retails at €3.85, and we've generated sales of €70,000 to date. We also sell online on our website, weareobio.com. So now we've proven there's a market demand for Obio through both retail and online channels, and now we're ready to scale into the UK market and release our next range of products. But to do this, we need investment. We've already raised $375,000, and now we're looking for a further $100,000 to close the round. So thanks for your time, and we welcome any questions. But first, we'd like to hand you out a sample of Obio food waste box.
In the den, to keep all negotiations fair and equal, a dragon that has prior detailed business knowledge of a product must declare themselves out before any questioning starts.
I have seen this before, haven't I, in the HBAN food syndicate. So under the rules of the den, I'm not allowed to participate because we're not allowed to have seen things previously. So I'm out for that reason.
Okay, thanks, Eamon.
I was at that same meeting with Eamon, so by the rules of the game, I'm going to have to opt out, so I'm out.
Thanks, Alison.
You ran through your numbers there very quickly, so can you just go back? I got 385 retail point for 3 bags, is that correct?
Sorry, for 5.
Your generation in sales to date is 375,000?
No, sorry, 70,000 in sales. 375 was what we've raised in investment.
And what sources did you raise that investment from?
So 150,000 came from a London-based VC-backed seed fund. Then we got 2 Irish private investors who put in 25,000 each. And then we just got approved for HBSU funding from Enterprise Ireland for 175,000.
Liz and Kate, give us a breakdown then of the equity.
Enterprise Ireland have 10% because we got the competitive start fund of €50,000. Then we participated in the DCU Rhine Academy Propeller programme, which was an accelerator, which provided us with €45,000 for a 7.5% stake. With the current 20% that's going to the other shareholders, we're left with 62.5% as founders, which we share equally.
What are your projections then, first 12 months after this funding round?
So in 2016, we're projecting sales of €300,000, and we'll make a net loss in the first year of €100,000. And then for 2017, we're projecting 1.2 million in sales with a net profit of €100,000, so we'll break even next year. And then we're projecting 3 million in 2018 with a net profit of €300,000.
So really the problem you're solving is people don't like the mess of food waste, so you're containing it. And then you're containing it in a way that's environmentally friendly because the bag is it a bag or a box?
Well, we like to call it a box. It's certified compostable.
At the end of the day, it really is just a bag/box. So have you protected it in any way? Is there intellectual property that your company owns that's protected with a patent, for example?
So Obio has an EU design registration and a trademark. The product itself isn't patentable. Well, we do focus on building a really strong brand, and we're also very focused on our product pipeline as well, which we're already developing.
What's to stop, say, one of the big cardboard manufacturers coming in and just copying what you've done?
We feel that, again, because our product is such good quality and because we've tried to source manufacturers in Ireland, Eastern Europe, China, and none of them have come to us with a better price than what our current manufacturer is doing.
The brand name, Obio,
Bio comes from the Irish for life, and the O at the front, it helps us symbolise the life cycle. We didn't actually want it to specifically mean anything because we feel like we're going to bring
well, you
the meaning
succeeded
to
in
the
that,
name.
yeah.
But if you look
why,
at our
Gavin,
packaged
We did put food waste box underneath the name here, and this is what you see on the supermarket shelf. So you're right in that it's a bit ambiguous, and actually we're undertaking a rebrand at the moment as well. So we're changing the packaging to make it clearer, and actually on the box that you have in your hand, it will actually say food waste box. So when it's sitting on your countertop, if a neighbour walks in, they'll know that it's for food waste.
There's more than a few tweaks needed here. And, you know, you're in here, you're very credible, because if you're telling me you've raised €375,000, and yet I'm looking at it and I'm saying, wow, brand doesn't do it for me. And I'm also saying, pity we're in Dublin. I mean, this is really a London play. I'm just thinking, where's the biggest city near us that, you know, has so many people living in apartments and things like that? I presume that's what you're thinking as well. So are you going to base here, or are you going to base in the UK?
So the company will be based here, but we do have, we've set up an office in the UK. We plan to hire a sales and marketing person over there. We're in talks with a medium, I suppose, size retailer in the UK. It will be in the next 6 months to a year that we'll actually be able to launch into the UK market. But in the meantime, we're actually selling online over there already, and we already have paying customers in the UK.
There seems to be overhead creeping into this business. How much sort of money are you throwing into the waste box in the next 12 months?
The cost of goods sold in 2016 is 200,000, so we make a gross profit of 100,000, but then the overheads for 2016 are 200,000.
I guess one of the reasons you chose Obio and not a descriptor is that you're planning to extend the product line.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about your product pipeline?
The next product to market is the larger Obio food waste box for people with bigger families, or they do more fresh food cooking. We're then going to go into food preservation, and that'll be products to do with prolonging the life of your fruit and vegetables, and I've already began working on that, and we think that that has IP potential.
I am not convinced that this is enough of a problem that people are actually going to make €3.85 a spend for 5 of these bags on a continuous basis. I genuinely wish you well, but I'm not convinced that this is a real business. So for that reason, I'm out.
Thanks, Eleanor.
Wow, I have a very different view to Eleanor. I think concept-wise, yeah, I would have said this is right on the money for where we're going, but I still have a lot of reservations. Why is it just 2 litres? Even though it's probably adequate, and I'm sure you did the research, but, you know, if it was a 4 or 5 litre sort of space bag, you know, I feel I was getting better value.
You don't want food waste hanging around too long, so it's specifically designed for kind of maximum 3 to 4 days, so that people do put it into their brown bin and start off with a fresh one, so you don't get any of those negative associations with food waste recycling.
How are you thinking about online versus the retail channel in terms of mix of your current product sales and then any future products you come out with?
So currently online makes up 20% of our sales, and we're looking to increase that to 30% and then 40% over the coming 3 years. But I also think this is a put in your shopping basket every 2 weeks kind of product, so people doing their big shop.
Talk to me about the margin difference in the 2 channels then, margin through retail and then margin through online for you.
So with retail, at the production volume that we're aiming at next year is 45% margin for us. And then with online, the subscription model, because we give free shipping, is about a 45% margin as well. But with the bulk buy option, where people actually pay €4 for shipping, we can make up to 57%.
That's interesting. So you have a subscription model.
Yeah, we ship you the Obio box once every 3 months. So you either get 6 packets of these or 9 packets.
How many subscribers do you have right now?
154.
And we have a 95% retention rate as well.
So with 5% churn, then you're talking about like €1,600 lifetime value for your customer, roughly.
Yeah, well, depending on the lifetime, we'd kind of average it, I'd say, 3 years. We have about 18 months experience now, so we can say we expect a customer to last 3 years. So
That's 33% churn, though, if they only last 3 years.
What lifetime are you using?
Well, 5% churn means you're only losing 5% of them a year.
Yeah.
A stumble by Liz, but is it a costly one for Obio? Gavin wants to know more about their funding round.
So in your first round, did you get a number of investors at 25,000?
The two privates are coming in for €25,000 each, and then the seed fund invested 150,000.
The seed fund is from where?
They're a London-based VC-backed seed fund.
What you're saying to myself and Barry is, though we would be investing 4 times what that first round did, we're getting it on exactly the same terms, which doesn't sound generous.
Well, it's on a pro rata basis. I suppose the valuation was set through the negotiations with the seed fund, and then the private investors came in at that valuation. So we're now looking for the 100,000 from yourselves at that same valuation, which is the 10%.
Obio has already secured €375,000 in this funding round. Today, they're asking for €100,000 for a 10% share. Unfortunately for Gavin and Barry, there is no negotiation on the equity amount.
I've never said this before in the den, but normally we say you're too early, and what I'm saying is you're too late.
Let's not give up on it, because I'm seriously thinking of a joint offer with Barry here, right? But we're putting in much more money.
Maybe we are too late, but we still think the expertise and the experience that you could bring from a retail and an e-commerce background would be really beneficial to us as a team.
But you're not putting any premium on that.
Well, you see, we also have a limit to the amount of equity we'd like to part with at this early stage. So by parting with another 10% now, we can still retain majority shareholding of about 51%.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Just think of yourself, not your investors.
You are right.
Thanks, Barry.
As an investor, you're so wrong. But look, this is so in a space that I think is going to grow. So, look, we just can't do business. So, look, thank you very much for coming in. I can't speak for Barry, but unfortunately, I'm out.
Thanks very much, Gavin.
Thanks, Gavin.
You guys are going to have no problem filling out your round. As I said, I'm too late. It's my loss, but I'm out.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Barry, I never thought we'd be too late to an investment.
What I see with those two is they'll make a success of this, and then they'll make a success of more products, and then they'll make a success of more businesses.
It was just, I think, bad timing, and we would have loved to have Barry O'Sullivan on board, but unfortunately it didn't work out.